So let me throw this out there. How is it that a front three made up of Vinícius Jr, Kylian Mbappe, and Rodrygo, players with world-class talent, still somehow leaves you feeling like something's just off? Because when you actually look at that production, it all checks out. Vini Jr has 20 goals and 11 assists. Mbappe is already on 32 goals and on pace to break Cristiano Ronaldo's debut season record. And even Rodrygo, often seen as the odd man out, has still chipped in with 22 direct goal contributions. So with stats like that, it feels like everything should be working. But after watching them play together all season, I can't help but wonder if this trio is truly clicking the way it was meant to. Let's start with Mbappe. Yeah, he's scoring, that's obvious. But when you look past the goals, the picture starts to shift, because the deeper stats, the ones that look at how many quality chances he's getting and how often he's setting up teammates, are actually at the lowest point of his career. To be specific, if you take away penalties and just look at open play chances and assists, he's generating less attacking danger per game than he ever has before. Even his actual goal contributions, goals and assists per 90 minutes, drop way down when you remove penalties and adjust for his high playing time. In fact, it's lower than any season since he was 18 years old. So even though the total goals look crazy on paper, the underlying numbers suggest he's not as involved or effective as he used to be. And to understand why, I actually went back and watched all the goals he scored during his 3 best seasons at PSG. There was a clear pattern. The majority of his goals came from central and left-sided areas, often after he'd run in behind the defence, receiving through balls and finishing with that signature burst. The second most common way? On the left, when he finds just enough space to unleash one of his trademark bangers. But the biggest takeaway, he's at his absolute best when he's facing the goal, running into space, and using his timing and acceleration to beat defenders. Now compare that to what we're seeing this season at Madrid. He's spending a lot more time in the right half space, which, historically, is where he's least effective as a finisher. But even more importantly, he's just not getting the chances to make those runs in behind as often. And for a player like him, that really limits how dangerous he can be. With everything we've seen he's capable of, don't you think he should be set up for success more effectively? Then there's Rodrygo. At first glance, the numbers look solid. He's averaging around 0.63 goal contributions per 90 minutes. So basically, he's either scoring or assisting in almost 2 out of every 3 games. That sounds good, right? Pretty much what we've seen from him in the past. But when you dig a little deeper, it's not quite the same. There's this stat that combines how many quality chances a player gets and creates, expected goals plus expected assists, and it gives us a better idea of the real impact a player is having. And this season, Rodrygo's number is down to about 0.38 per 90 minutes. That's actually the lowest he's had since he joined Real Madrid. So yeah, he's still putting up numbers, but it's probably because he's finishing at a really high level right now. And we all know how that goes. Those hot streaks don't always last. Jude Bellingham's last season is the proof of that. It's hard to ignore how much Mbappe's arrival has affected him. The left side was already crowded, and by adding Kylian to the mix, Rodrygo now has even fewer chances to drift into the zones where he's historically been most dangerous. Then there's Vini, and here's where things get even more interesting. He's the only one of the 3 playing in his natural position, and it shows. His output and underlying metrics are right in line with what we've come to expect from him, so it's not surprising he looks the most comfortable. But that raises the question, can these 3 actually gel together? Because when I watch them, it doesn't feel like a front line working in harmony. It feels more like 3 soloists doing their own thing. And honestly, that feeling makes sense. All 3, Vini, Mbappe and Rodrygo, are capable of brilliant individual moments, especially when they drift to that left side of the pitch. But the issue is, they don't really complement each other. Here's what I mean. None of them are particularly great passers when it comes to playing that final ball through the defence, and that's actually a big deal, because both Mbappe and Vini thrive when they're running in behind, chasing through balls, and attacking space. But if no one in the front 3 is naturally good at providing those passes, how are they supposed to feed each other? Sure, Vini and Rodrygo do create chances, but most of their creativity comes from wide areas, especially through crosses, not sharp passes in tight spaces. And Mbappe? He's not exactly known for attacking crosses effectively. So when you break it down, the reason they struggle to truly click might just be this. Their strengths as playmakers don't match up with where the others are best at finishing. That's why, for example, Mbappe and Neymar made so much more sense as a duo. Even though they both loved that left side, Neymar had the vision and passing ability to find Mbappe's runs and set him up in stride. That's the kind of balance that I think is missing here. So the big question is, do we really believe this trio will ever truly work together? Right now, if I'm being honest, I'm about 80% convinced that it just won't. At least not in the long term, and honestly it feels like at some point Real Madrid might have to make a tough decision. Maybe even sell one, or possibly two, of these players. But do I think that'll happen this summer? Probably not. So, what gives me that 20% of hope that it could still work? Well, it's that there are glimpses. Like when you realise Rodrygo and Mbappe are actually the two best of the three at linking up play. And that could be the key to unlocking something here. Rodrygo especially might be the most underrated piece in all this. For me, he's the best dribbler out of the three, particularly in tight spaces. So if you shift Vini over to the right and let Rodrygo operate more from the left, you're boosting that left side connection without losing the depth Mbappe gives you running in behind. Suddenly the pieces start to feel like they fit a bit better. Now sure, depending on the opponent, you'd still tweak their roles and positioning to fine-tune the dynamics. But honestly, that could be a whole video by itself. As for transfers, there are two obvious additions that could really change the picture. First, bringing in a proper playmaker, someone elite at playing through balls, like Florian Wirtz or Bruno Fernandes. Trent Alexander-Arnold will help in that area too, but a midfielder with that skill set could elevate everything, especially for guys like Vini and Mbappe. The second would be signing a striker with Joselu's profile, a classic target forward. That kind of player is huge when you're up against deep blocks and forced to rely on crosses. Not flashy, but incredibly useful. But hey, that's just my take. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this trio? Can they really work together long term? Drop your answer in the comment section, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football breakdowns like this one. Appreciate you for watching. See you in the next one.